What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Thought I'd hop on live. I was going to test out a new single malt that I happened to been waiting for a while and finally got my hands on. And here we are. Since it is nothing going on, figure why not just sample this live and chat. So here we are. It's Thursday. I normally do not do Thursday shows, as you all know. It's always Tuesday, but you know we're gonna buck that trend today. Do a little quick impromptu live tasting. So what's going on, everybody? It's been 48 hours since we last hung out. If you were there on Tuesday. What's everybody up to? I am just polishing off a sip of the, well, this is the last dram actually of the Ben Romick Organic. Really tasty stuff. I was just recording my review of that, so that'll come up in like a week or two. But tonight, we're going to just do something a little different. So let me just make sure we are all set up here. If you're in the chat, say hello. Good to see everybody. We got six folks in here, 4 folks in here already. Cool. Lost Cause. What's up, man? Calls for some high ABV tonight, BB. All right, grab something, man. Nestor's here too. What's up, folks? Thursday, huh? Right on. Yeah, you know. I figure why taste it alone? I might as well just jump on and see what's up with y'all. I'm pretty excited to get into this one. This whiskey I've been waiting for quite some time. It is, yeah, Deanston Organic, 17 years old PX finish. It's a, I think this is a British or UK, Europe release only. I've never seen this in the States, so probably not something I'll get my hands on again. But I do enjoy me a PX. And come on, man, 17 years old for this? Shit, this has got to be good. So we'll see. We'll get into it in a minute. I'm going to just do something a little bit more chill now that Ben Romick is gone, just to get the palate ready. Got a Old Faithful Naked Grouse. Just a little bit. Can't be doing too much. It ain't Friday yet, unfortunately. All right. So a little Naked Grouse to set the palate, and then we're going to get in on this. Alan, the whiskey friend. What's up, man? What'd you miss? Nothing yet. I just got on, threw together a little impromptu show. I was recording a review and finally got my hands on something I've been looking for a while. It's the Deanston Organic 17-year-old PX finish. Sounds pretty tasty. And figured I'd go live and taste it with y'all, man. See how everybody's doing. So we're going to hang out for a little bit. Thanks for stopping through, bud. By the way, Alan, I think you're on Patreon. Lost Cause, I know you are. I did the early release of my next review, which is coming tomorrow. I released it this morning as the Glenmorangie Tail of Cake. So I'm going to try this year to get I'm going to do early releases of reviews to all the Patreon supporters. So y'all get that like 24 hours in advance, if not sooner. And we'll figure out some other fun stuff to do as well. So appreciate y'all. In the meantime, another whiskey that I'm finally going to do a review of this year, Naked Grouse. And I'm telling you, this stuff is stellar. A lot better than you'd expect for an NAS whiskey from the Grouse. And, you know, to be totally honest with you, this is something I just don't see ever not having at least one bottle of. It's that good. 43%, all first fill Oloroso. I believe it's probably Macallan, probably some Glenrothes in there, because Famous Grouse is Edgerton Group. So I'm assuming that there maybe even Highland Park. I don't think there's any Highland Park in this. There's no detection of peat at all. But my guess is it's probably all Glenrothes and what's the other one? Glenturret and Macallan, maybe. All right, we got 9 folks in already. What's up, everybody? Happy impromptu Thursday live show. Jude against the monkey shoulder. This will kill the monkey shoulder. I'll say it right now. Well, monkey shoulder's got a lot of bourbon in it, though, doesn't it? What's all in that? I can't remember, man. I haven't had a monkey shoulder in a while. Glenmorangie? What's all in that blend? There's like 3. There's 3 whiskeys in the monkey shoulder. Man, I can't remember any of them. That was good, though. That is like one of the best whiskeys to recommend to somebody who's just trying to get into Scotch, or, you know, is like a bourbon head and wants to kind of make that transition, you know. I don't remember what the 3 are, though. Maybe one of y'all in the chat probably knows. Swami, what's good, buddy? How you doing, man? I saw you were live the other night. Sorry I couldn't hop on. I was going to check out your show. You were doing some of your political antics, it looked like. Okay. Balvenie and Glenfiddich. Okay, yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. I knew Balvenie. And I kept saying Glenmorangie, but it ain't Glenmorangie, right? It's like, it's some lowland whiskey. Oh, friends got it. It's okay, yeah, Kinnevia, yeah. Glenfiddich, Balvenie, Kinnevia, okay. That stuff's solid. I mean, I don't think it's like, I don't know if I would want a whole bottle of it anymore, but man, that's like the gift. That's one of those gift bottles. It's like a decent blend. Good for folks who are into bourbon. Definitely a good palate starter for some folks, you know? I don't think it holds a candle to Famous Grouse, though. I mean, and I'm not sure if I can do the comparison because this thing is all first fill Oloroso. If there's like another cheap blend out there that's heavy sherry, we could probably do it. But Monkey Shoulder would be a fun one to do against like Dewar's White Label or something. Trying to think of one of those like, you know, low price blends that are like more bourbon cask. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. I'd have to look. But maybe, man, why not, right? I'll tell you right now, if I was going to recommend one of these, if I was going to recommend one of these two, and I would definitely say the Naked Grouse. The Naked Grouse punches above its weight, man, for sure. 43%. Is Monkey Shoulder 43? It's got some weird ABV, doesn't it? What is that? Take a quick look. Monkey Shoulder. Is that one of your go-tos, Alan? It tells me it's not, but Monkey Shoulder blended malt. There's a smoky monkey too. What's 40? Yeah, it's 40%. Okay. All right. Yeah, you know, it's not bad. It's just been a long time since I've had it. Swami says it's horrible. Naked Grouse is much better. Yeah, I agree. If I had the Smoky Monkey, I've never even heard of the Smoky Monkey until I just looked it up now. What's up with that? Is it any good? What did they put in that? Probably like Kalila? Talisker? Or is it like some peated Balvenie? Probably that, right? Yeah, I mean, I'd check it out. But all right. So yeah, anyway, for folks just jumping on, man, I just got my hands on something that I'm thinking is going to be pretty damn special, but we'll find out. Deanston. This is a 17-year-old organic PX finished Deanston 2002 distillate, 49.3% non-chill natural. Checks every freaking box. I'm stoked about this one, man. This is going to be some good shit. I almost guarantee it. I don't know how it can't be. This is like a European release. Alan, have you ever seen this before? Have you ever seen this? Organic PX 17-year-old Deanston? I couldn't even find it on like people's reviews on it online or anything like that, which was kind of interesting. Welsh Toro's in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Happy Thursday. He said, getting into whiskey, why not Glenfiddich 12? Oh, you're talking about like compared to Monkey Shoulder? Yeah. Glenfiddich 12 would be a good one too. I think Monkey Shoulder seemed had a little bit more robustness to it, a little bit more, I don't know, body. I felt like the Fiddick and the Livet are really just kind of, I don't know, they're really light. It's been a long time, but still, yeah, that's definitely one, right? Anything that's kind of like an ex-bourbon cask, doesn't have too many thrills, doesn't have a lot of, no smoke in it. Like those are good whiskeys to kind of like move people who are like trying to get into Scotch. Because what I find in the States is people have stupid misconceptions about Scotch. They think every Scotch is like an Islay whiskey. Like the people don't know nothing about it. And so when you talk to bourbon heads who are like, won't mess with Scotch, it's because of that. They think it's all just like smoky and, Speaking of Glenfiddich, another one would be that 14-year-old. Was that? It's like an all bourbon one, like first fill bourbon 14. It's called like I can't even remember. Like something reserve or something. It might not be bad. I've never had it, but Swami said the Spaniard is the only blend that reminds me of the Naked Grouse. Oh, is that the Compass Box? I never had that one. And it's been a minute since I've actually had any Compass Box for that matter. And they put out so many damn releases. Like I can't keep up with half of those things. Yeah, what's up, T squared? Yeah, exactly. Everything tastes like Connemara. Yeah, man, that's it's like the same thing with tequila, man. If you talk to like the average drinker, they're like, "Oh, I'll never drink tequila," and you're like, "Why?" "Oh man, when I was in college, I had Cuervo Gold, and I threw up all night, and I'll never drink tequila again." And I'm like, "Man, that's not even tequila. Like you're missing out so much." People are just, you know how it goes. That shit's funny. Right? Man, not even just sherry, man. God, Deanston puts out so many finished whiskeys. Like I was looking at some of the stuff on the European, like stuff to get shipped over from the UK. And man, they have so many finishes now. They have a lot of NASs. It's like, they got a Marsala. They got this like beer stout beer finish. They're like Tomatin, man. They're just gonna like keep putting out NASs with a ton of different finishes. No doubt. Squared said only had the Deanston 12 and 18 early on my whiskey journey. Good stuff. Yeah, I've actually never had the 12, but I have had the 18. That's the bourbon one, right? Yeah, that was solid. Another one I had not too long ago is the Deanston 20, which is all like all sherry. That was a really good one too. But I never had the 12. I know like Ralphie had it as like whiskey of the year like 2 years ago or something. I might have to check it out, but I actually just never see it anywhere. The one I see a lot is the Virgin Oak, which is like one of the NAS ones. It's like probably the cheapest Deanston I've seen. I've just not had it yet. Thanks for stopping in though, Square, man. Happy New Year. Compass Box in general goes against what I'm looking for as a hobbyist. Explore distilleries and yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know how many Compass Box whiskeys you've had, but I'll be honest, I really liked most of the ones that I had. I had the Hedonism, which is like a single grain. That was pretty interesting. Vanilla Bomb for sure. The Lost Blend was really good. The Spice Tree is really solid. I had some of those like younger ones too, but man, that's almost it. I'm trying to think what other Deanstons I've had or Compass Box. Oh, Peat Monster. It was all right. But like I think they do a really good job with the blends. But now, man, the last 2 years since I've kind of not bought any of those, they've been putting out so much. I can't keep up with it. Glenfiddich 18. Okay. That's another one I haven't had. I got to get my hands on that. I actually saw it recently for like $85 here in the States, and I was going to buy it, and I didn't. I kind of regret not doing it. I like the Glenlivet 18. Well, the old one. They changed the Glenlivet 18, I think just in the States, but maybe overseas too. So they rebranded it or like repackaged it and dropped the ABV from 43 to 40. The guy that my friend Telex, who I do whiskey shows with on Tuesday, he did a tasting of it, the new Glenlivet, and said it was just like languid as all hell, super watery. At a time where you're seeing a lot of distilleries slowly start to do more age statement stuff and maybe go higher ABV, it was like they're going the wrong direction. But you're still seeing a lot of anti-acids. I mean, the anti-acid thing's here to stay. Look out for Berry Brothers and Rudd Sherry. It's wicked. I believe that's Glenrothes. Oh, okay. I have an Indy Glenrothes. Yeah, here it is. I don't know if you've ever had this one, Alan. This is a Glenrothes 20-year-old from 1996. It's from the Exclusive Malts release. Creative Whiskey Company. I don't know if you've ever seen this one before. I haven't opened this one yet, but I'm going to do it soon. I like Glenrothes. That whiskey maker's cut of theirs, non-age statement, but that's a really solid one. But I've never seen anything. I've never had anything from BBR. I just think Monkey Shoulder is Mac. Glenfiddich has Speyside quality. If it was 46, yeah, definitely, yeah, no doubt about that. Wow. Right on, man. That's a great price. Scotch and Irish. Stuck with Beam and Coke for 30 years. So much loss. Yeah, man. I feel you, dude. Yeah, I was whiskey sours, man. A lot of whiskey sours, and I'm from Wisconsin, so a lot of old fashions, bourbon old fashions, not even rye old fashions, bourbon old fashions, sweet on sweet. I did that stuff for years. And then finally, started trying to drink bourbon on ice, and then bourbon on water, and then straight, neat bourbon, and then scotch and so forth. But hey, man, as long as you get there, right? Sometimes it takes a while. Won't go back. So I picked up a bunch of them. Are you talking about the Exclusive Malts? Or maybe I missed it. Oh, the Blue Hanger. Oh, got you. Yeah. I liked the 12 at first, but my second bottle made me think shallow fruit, but no. Are you talking about the Glenfiddich? Yeah. Man, that's interesting because I've not really had any of the age statement Glenfiddich stuff. I think the Glenfiddichs that I've had have all been that experimental release series they did with the IPA, and then they had the Project 20, and then they had the peat and rum one. Those were all decent. I liked actually the Project 20 quite a bit. But they didn't none of those three were bad. I never got the Winter Storm because it was like $300 some, but I don't know if you had any of those, Toro, and what you thought about those. But when I bought the IPA one, I was really worried. I thought it was going to just be overpowered with just IPA because they were trying to, appeal to craft American beer drinkers, quote unquote craft. But it actually seemed pretty balanced. I was surprised. But there's a bunch, yeah. The Glenfiddichs are just one of those I've probably had the 12 at a bar somewhere. I just can't remember it. Oh, yeah. Well, that'll... yeah. If that doesn't pull you in, I'm not sure what would. Banned in Glenlivet based on the entry-level options. If I try Glenlivet again, it will be someone else's. Yeah. I don't blame you. All right. I'm going to get this in the glass and just let this thing start getting a little oxygen. And then I'll tell you a bit about it. As I was saying, I've been really excited about this the minute I knew it existed. I do enjoy me a PX, and for the most part, I've had positive experiences with the Deanstons I've had. So when I saw it, I thought it was just another one of their NASs, and I was going to pass. But then I looked closer, and if you look real close under the 2002, it says 17 years old. So it's like, oh, shit. So here's the tail of the tape on this. That's what it looks like bottle-wise. Classic Deanston. It is Highland Single Malt, 17 years old, organic. So it's part of their organic series. PX finish, 2002, 49.3%. So they're not even messing around with the ABV, although it makes me a little suspect about the casks. They're jacking up the ABV to 49.2, but we'll see. It's probably a good thing. Blah, blah, blah. They talk a bit about it. There's some tasting notes, all that. Tube. Nothing really interesting about it. Just a Deanston tube. Tasting notes again. Produced in bottle UK. So, yeah, non-chill fill, natural color. It says it on the label of that and on here. So it's finished in PX. I'm not sure how long. I was looking a little bit online. There's not a ton of information about this, but I'm thinking it's like 3 years. There was somebody who mentioned it in a Reddit thread that it was like about 3 years, but I don't know where they got that info from. So PX has got a lot of flavor, so I can't imagine they would have done it for too long. Anyways, natural color. I mean, look at that. You can't imagine there's a ton of PX in that, right? It's, it looks kind of bourbon, more on the bourbon side. I'll let that sit for a second. In fact, I got an Alan the Whiskey Friend coin I can put on this. Coin number 100, Alan. Put that bad boy on top. Glenrothes. Cool. Yeah. I don't know it. I've not had a ton of Glenrothes, but I do have, like I said, I got this 20 exclusive malts. It was relatively inexpensive, which makes me a little nervous, but wasn't that bad. And then I have that Whiskey Maker's Cut, which is pretty damn good. Oh yeah. I know all about that spot. What else is going on? Welsh Toro. Oh, you're talking about the Deanston 12. Okay. Folks talking about Glenfiddich and Deanston. I think it's good. Glenfiddich. You would take the Glenfiddich over the Deanston, right? Okay. Gotcha. What's up, Chris? Anyone had Mad March hair, small batch Irish? Secretary at work gave me a bottle. I've never even heard of that. Toro, Alan, you guys heard of that one? Mad March. No. Did you open it yet? Oh, yeah, you did. Hard time getting past the nose. Shit. Thanks for stopping in, Chris. What's happening on that nose? Funky? Yeah, exactly. I was doing that for probably a year. I would always see it and it'd be like $74 US. And I was like, nah. And then I'd see it and it'd be like 68. And I was like, oh, I should get it. But then, you go another section down the aisle, you find something else. And that one always fell to the wayside. I finally just pushed myself to do it. Another one that I tend to do that a lot with is the Balvenie 15 single barrel. And I've heard it's great. But that's another one. It's always like 120. It's always the one that I kind of cast aside when I'm like, shit, I can't spend this much money. I should. Yeah, it's been a while. You put out some new ones, right? Yeah, if y'all aren't, you should take a sec, subscribe to Alan, subscribe to the Whiskey Friend. He just had a great celebration, 3,000 subs, man. Cheers for that again. Wish I could have hung out longer. I caught you while I was at work. All right. What has this been sitting for, like 5-10 minutes? Yeah, screw it. We're going to get into it. Wow. Okay, nose. Ooh. Malty. Sweetness off the PX. It's really sweet. It's really malty, like honey. I'll tell you right away, the nose reminds me of like a Glenmorangie La Santa or something like that. Really just like sweet fruit. Honey, there's the like apple thing going on. I think that barley note, I tend to notice this on these quote unquote organic whiskeys, you know, like you always tend to get more of the that kind of like malted barley grain note. I noticed that a lot in the Glenmorangie was that Cadbull estate that they put out earlier this year. Nose is not all that interesting. I'm actually not detecting a lot of the PX. Yeah, I mean, that might not even have been a couple of years. This might have just been a couple of months. I don't know. This is a neck pour, but so the longer it sits here, I'm getting a little bit more of that kind of strawberry sweetness, that you know, the almost like angel food cake thing going on. All in all, pretty sweet, pretty not very complex on the nose. All right, as I said, 49.3%. So we'll see what's up. Sláinte, y'all. Happy Thursday. Really oily, viscous, maple syrup, honey, apple, pear. Oh, okay. Ooh, development's really nice. It's even got some spice kick in it on the back end, kind of like dried cinnamon, maybe even a bit of like nutmeg type stuff. Maple syrup, man, this is syrupy. Really long. I mean, it's going into what seems like a pretty long finish. Getting some of the red fruit, bourbon notes, a little bit of citrus. Yeah. I guess I'm a little surprised it doesn't have as much. It's not as much of that PX as I expected. Neck pour, of course, but still, you know, whiskey should be good out of the bottle, damn it. Really nice on the palate, really nice finish. The nose is not all that amazing. Wow. Nice oak spice too coming through now. Second taste. There's, again, it's so sticky. You get this nice kind of surge of the oak spice, which is, again, it's very much in the bourbon note side of things. So it's kind of the like caramel, not as much brown sugar, as more on the sweeter side. It's the caramel, the vanilla, the toffee note. Wow, that's decadent, man. This is like a dessert dram. I mean, this is one of the stickiest whiskeys I think I've ever had. That thing hangs around forever. Finish is like, it's long, but it's not super interesting. It tastes like you just drank like a really nice, I mean, it's like it's a lot on the bourbon side, but it's not super spicy, you know? So like a very sweet, almost like a wheated bourbon. Not picking up a ton of the PX though. We'll try it with water in a minute. Oh no, this ain't bad. If you told me this was like a completely ex-bourbon cask, I think it would make sense. It probably needs a little bit more time to open up anyways, but still. You know, when you think about a PX finished whiskey, you think about like a Lagavulin, like think about the Lagavulin Distillers Edition. Like that is unmistakable in that whiskey. When you get to the finish of that PX comes in heavy, super sweet. This one though, it's tame. Some florals, maybe. All right, I'm going to let that sit for just a couple minutes. Catch up on the chat. I'm not saying I'm disappointed yet, but I'm a little like, not doing quite as much as I was expecting. All right, let me catch up here. I apologize. I'm a little bit behind here. Oh, yeah, talking about the coin, Whiskey Maker's Cut, T Squared. Have only been chasing whiskey since April 2020. There's so, oh, yeah. You're in a great part of the journey, man. It's when, like, a lot of the, you know, you can have so many of those whiskeys for the first time that aren't going to break your bank. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Judge for yourself, right? That's supposed to be a PX. I mean, it looks in the bottle, you get a nice kind of like reddish hue, but not so much in the glass. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. So far, I mean, if you told me this was a Deanston 17, just, you know, no mention of what cask it was, I wouldn't be complaining about it. But the fact that they're telling me it's the PX finish, I do think that, you know, and again, I don't know what you guys think about the whole organic thing, but I do detect more of that just kind of like sweet malty grain note in this that I don't always pick up in a lot of whiskeys. And that could be from the fact that, you know, they're using an organic kind of local barley type thing, but who knows? Mike Meyer, what's going on, buddy? GNR Avatar still rolling? Sweet. Good to see you, man. Happy 2020 or 2021. Shit. I feel like we're still living in 2020 in some respects. Good to see you, man. Not a Glenmorangie fan, so not sounding that appealing so far. I'd be interested what Glenmorangies you've had. Oh, nice. Good pick right there. You're gonna get Alan excited about that. Alan is the Kilkerran fanboy on YouTube. You know, you probably have like every bottle they put out, eh, buddy? What's going on, man? Cheers. Good to see you. We are just uncorked a Deanston 17-year-old organic PX finish. Just getting my first taste on this one. Oh, he's talking about that Irish rotten potatoes. Yeah. Power of suggestion is real. Sample swaps. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, these are not, it's not strong, you know? Like, I'm not, when I think about, as I was mentioning, like I think about like Lagavulin Distillers Edition, where that sweet PX on the finish is unmistakable. Not so much in this one. It doesn't seem to, it seems to be overpowered if it's there. And it's overpowered by what I'm assuming is just the bourbon. All right, I'm going to do one more taste, and then I'm going to do another glass with some water in it. Okay. I'm starting to pick it up now. I would still want more, but man, okay. Yeah, I'm starting to pick it up now. You get that nice pop of like juicy fruit gum, light red berry kind of, or, you know, like red fruit. Just that signature kind of, it's not cloying, but it's like really bright red fruit pop on it. It's poking through a bit, but the bourbon is still really strong on this one. I mean, it's a finish, so I don't expect it to be entirely balanced, but it seems a little bit unbalanced right now. But at least it's coming through. Let's try another dram of this. I'm gonna pop this in here. We're gonna do just a bit of water, see if that changes anything here. I'm expecting to like get a little more citrus out of this too, but a couple drops. Again, here's one more look at the color. Natural color. I mean, he's faint red, like a faint red in that, but it is mostly just looks like a bourbon cask to me. Cheers, man. Thanks for stopping through, buddy. I dropped that Tale of Cake thing on Patreon today. It'll be out for everybody else tomorrow, but if you want to check that out, do so, or maybe you did already. Hey, Richie. What are you doing? Good to see you again. It's been a while. 2 days. Good to have Richie in the house as always. T-Squared did the Glenmorangie sampler pack. 10 was tolerable, and the rest tasted like 10 with, yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly it. The 10 is the core distillate for all their stuff, and then they put out like a 12-year. They usually just bump it up to 12 years and do 2-year finishes. So there's like the La Santa Oloroso, which I haven't had in a long time, but I think is pretty solid. They do the 14. Well, it used to be a 12. Now it's a 14 Quinta Ruben, which is the port. That one I think is actually really solid. They had a Sauternes, but they discontinued it with the age statement. So it's an NAS now. But they have a bunch of those like that. Interesting that you found them kind of syrupy. I guess I liked the Quinta Ruban quite a bit. It's been a while since I did the La Santa, so I can't really speak on that one. But I tend to kind of like Glenmorangie on the whole. The only ones that I really wouldn't recommend is the 15 Cadbull Estate. That's the local sourced barley one. It's not. I just didn't find it very interesting at all. The 10 is fine if you just need like a palate starter. My favorite ones are theirs. The private edition Glenmorangie Spios, which is 46 or 48%. It was finished, or it's not finished. It's matured in American rye casks. That's probably the best rye aged or rye matured Scotch I've had. So keep your eyes peeled for that. You might dig that one. It definitely doesn't have that sweetness thing that you're talking about. Tomorrow, my review of another Glenmorangie will be out, the Tale of Cake. Check it out. It'll drop in the morning. Maybe you'll, I don't know. Maybe it'll inspire you to overspend on it. I'm not sure. All right, Alan's out, but we still got folks or two in. Deanston too busier now. That makes me nervous about that distillery. Too much mucking around. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're alluding to kind of, you probably know more than I do about it, but what I've seen from them is just so many releases of so many NAS finishes. And yeah, it just, like I said, it reminds me of like Tomatin or Glenmorangie, who just like, you can find a non-age statement finished whiskey from those distilleries for basically any sherry or wine you can think of. Like they just got something they got one for everything. This one I feel like just needs to open up a little bit. One Deanston that I really, really liked, and it made my top 5 whiskeys of the year for 2020. I think it was number 5 on that list, is the Deanston 2008 red wine Bordeaux matured. It's like 9 years old. It's like cask strength, 56%, all aged in red wine Bordeaux cask. That whiskey was fantastic. I think it's better than this one. I'm starting to pick up some of that PX, but again, it's just not. It's not what I expect. I expected it to be a little bit more dynamic. Yeah, the nose is just kind of, I don't know, bready. The sweetness is coming through more now, though. This is why, like, I usually I won't post a review of a whiskey until I kind of have, like, given it its day in court. I can tell this one's probably going to take a little bit of time before I really know what to think about it. There's a lot I like about it. It's very, like, the mouthfeel is incredible. It's got a nice finish. The nose is just kind of muted. Starting to get that, like, strawberry milkshake thing going on, though. Richie, folks saying hi. Yeah, I mean, what did I pay for this? This was probably like $115, $120 US. I mean, like solid price for a 17-year-old whiskey, organic, PX finish, all that jazz. That's what kind of grabbed my attention. For the price, I think it holds up, but it's not a world beater. All right, I'm gonna give this a few more minutes to just sit and chill. Yeah, definitely could be. It wouldn't be surprised. Richie says, is that all ex-bourbon? Sounds interesting. No, it's PX finish, but for how long, I don't know. I mean, you can even, I use distiller.com a lot to post my reviews of things and just research whiskeys. They don't even have this on there. And if you Google it and try to search for it, you don't find it really anywhere. So either it's brand new or it's super elusive in some way, because it doesn't seem like a lot of folks have had their opportunity to try this. Nice legs, though. I'm telling you, this is one of the oiliest whiskeys that I've had. Oh, cool. Cheers. Man, so it's starting to kind of mellow out a bit. You're starting to get the that vanilla cream soda thing going on. Again, the barley note is really fresh. It's really lively, sweet, honey. There's even a hint of tropical fruit coming through this now. I think it's just had to break through that bourbon overcoat on the neck pour. Starting to get more, again, I keep saying this, starting to get it, but there's the PX is there. It's just not as assertive as I would have liked. I was hoping for that really sweet pop on the end, and it's not quite there. Maple syrup. Getting better and better. It's balancing out. I think the water was a good idea. Oh, nice spice hit at the end too. It's not even black pepper. It's like chili pepper. It's got a little bit of acidity to it. Finish just goes on. Still though, a lot of chocolate. A lot of maple syrup, a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel. The PX is actually more noticeable in the palate and starting to be more noticeable in the nose. The finish is all just like caramel, malted milk balls, a little bit of almond nuttiness. Yeah. All right. I see you. It's getting better. No, yeah, they don't chill filter. I mean, this is the thing, right? If you walked into a liquor store and you saw a whiskey that has 17 years old, PX finished, 49.3%, non-chill filter, and no added color, and and to top it off, organic, seems like must buy to me. And I saw somebody selling this on secondary market a long time ago, and I've just had it in the back of my head, and I finally found somebody else with it. So I grabbed it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a PX finish being too long. I was thinking maybe it was a 3-year finish earlier, but you're probably right. I mean, it's probably much less than that. I've never really had a whiskey that was, obviously, I don't even think there was many whiskeys matured in PX. It would just be so freaking sweet. This, however, maybe could have used a little bit more time in the PX. Nose is getting better though. I feel like I'm probably not going to be able to do a real review of this for a couple months. I'm going to have to sip on this for a while, but all in all, like if I was going to throw a random preliminary score on the 5-point scale in 0.25 segments, this would hit the like 3.5 probably mark. Not quite a 4 or higher yet, but it's no slouch either. And the price was great. I bet you for the folks in the UK, if Toro's still here, if Alan's gone, but I mean, I'm sure you guys could probably find this somewhere over there at a decent price. Man. This is getting better and better. This is why you spend some time with a whiskey. I'm starting to really like this. There's a little bit of an alcohol note on it, though. Is there another malt you think Deanston is reminiscent of? So, of the Deanstons I've had the 18 bourbon. I've had the 20 Oloroso. Honestly, like when I think about the bourbon cask, I maybe would compare it to something like loosely compare it to like Glenallachie, or maybe not Craigellachie, but maybe maybe Glenallachie. I'm thinking like the Glenallachie 12 and probably the Deanston 12 have similar profile. Very like sweet barley forward. You really taste a lot of that in it. I mean, honestly, texture-wise, like in terms of how cloying this, or not cloying, but like how sticky this is, it reminds me of the Honey Bear Dalwhinnie 15. Like it's just so sticky. It has that overwhelming sweetness that just kind of like coats your mouth and hangs on for a long time. So yeah, in terms of like it's the body and the mouthfeel, it reminds me of like the Dalwhinnie 15. Yeah, I mean, I think, just honestly off the first couple tastes, like I think this is above average, but it's not a world beater. It's kind of like that 3.5 range, maybe even a tick higher or lower. It's hard to say. So I'll just stick with 3.5, but this is going to be fun. I'm really hoping that this thing opens up a little bit. It just feels like the bourbon notes are really dominant. But as it's getting more oxygen, I mean, it is 17 years old. As it's getting more oxygen, the PX is starting to assert itself a bit. It's just not quite as much as I wanted. My issue is, why do distilleries even finish? They say experimentation, but I think it's just to disguise something that they're not working out. Yeah, I mean, and probably just like market costs, right? Like I wonder, like I think that's right, but I also wonder if like, you think about like Glenmorangie, they're trying to sell, like if they did like a full 12-year-old Oloroso or something like that, like I don't know, maybe it would just be more expensive for them. They'd have to get different barrels. Like I don't know. I feel kind of like I'm okay with finishes. I feel like it does bring a little something to it. I agree that for the most part, it doesn't make a bad whiskey good, and it doesn't make a good whiskey great. I'm trying to think of some that are like with finishes that I think are really standout. I've mentioned this tonight already, but like Lagavulin Distillers Edition, I think is one that I think the finish really adds something to that. Now you may not like love it. You may would prefer just the Lagavulin 16, but I think they do a good job with that. The Talisker Distillers Edition is another one, which I think, not being somebody who's not a huge fan of Talisker, like I really enjoy the extra element that they put into it. I think it brings a bit more to the table and it tones down the pepper note for me. But for those who are more interested in Talisker, that might make you think the opposite. Man, I don't even think, man, like I'm trying to think finished whiskeys that I even have that I would even vouch for and say people should get. You bring up a good point, because I'm like looking at it and I really don't have that many. Okay. No, that's not even a finish. That's actually just, I was going to say Glendronach, but that's not a finish. The 15. You bring up a good point, man. Oh, I don't know. Is the Ardbeg Ugadal finished in Oloroso, or is it? I don't think it is. It's just a little bit matured, so that doesn't count. Man, you bring up a good point. I actually don't have many whiskeys here. I don't think I really have anything that's finished. Yeah, nothing, not on the shelf at least. Probably down in the bunker, but yeah. Good point. Really good point. Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike a Deanston, you know, like I really loved that 20 Oloroso. I thought that was really solid. Yeah, shit. I'm trying to think, man. I'm not sure that there's anything finished that I can really, you know, I actually have never thought about this question that much. So this is a great prompt, Welsh Toro. I really can't think of anything that I think, with the exception of just like a small number, that like the finishing itself actually added to the experience or made it unique enough. Lagavulin Distillers Edition, the Talisker Distillers Edition, I think are two examples. There was something with a red wine cask finish that I thought was solid, but yeah, you know, for the most part, man. Well, okay, the Glenfiddich IPA, I think that was an IPA finish, maybe. I don't know. Looks like I can count on one hand, so that's a great question. I'd love to hear in the chat though if anybody has any like finished whiskeys that they're you know, they think are world beaters, or at least just good, or it's made it better. Would love to hear it. Yeah, it's great. It's borderline great, and it's a really good price. I got it for like 150. I think you could probably still find it for sub 200. And for a 20-year-old whiskey, it's high quality. It's maybe a tick below the Glendronach Allardyce, but with the prices of Allardyce these days, I think that Deanston is a fair substitute for sure. You can mix different cask types in whiskey. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to, you know, I see your point. Like it's like a finishing is a good way to like mask over some not quality whiskey, right? Or like, you know, you could just throw it in the finish, you get the full potency of the finish, and then like, you know, that does this is similar. So in bourbon, right, there's the toasted or the double barrel or the toasted barrel, where they pull it out of the new charred oak and then they throw it in a new one for like 2 years or something like that. And I think it's different. It's the same concept, but I think it's different. I think with the bourbons, it actually is, they're going for like adding a different flavor and stuff like that. And it's honestly expensive for them to do that. I mean, new charred oak barrels are required by law. You can't reuse a bourbon barrel and call it bourbon. So the idea of like throwing it in another brand new one after it's been sitting in one for a while is probably more like they're trying to, you know, bring out some different flavors and have a bolder flavor or something like that. Same with like throwing it in the toasted new oak barrels. But you're right that they could just put, you know, this could sit with, you know, like I think like the Ugadal, right? Like, I mean, it's just a bit of Oloroso aged in with the bourbon aged. So yeah, good point. Toro knows what's up. But yeah, man, so far I haven't heard, I mean, I don't know if anybody has any finished whiskeys that they would go to the mat for. This is getting a lot better. It's still a bit muddled and a little bit unbalanced, but this whiskey's no slouch. The PX is, again, it's more and more. And I think, honestly, it's just octane. I'm actually going to let this sit without the cork on for a while. Let that bad boy air out. Anyways, let me catch up. Sure. Yeah. Or, you know, like a, Yeah, I mean, but I think the different, or I think the only place where Toro's point is comes through is like you could put all that stuff in at the beginning, right? Similar with gin, like I don't know if I've ever had a finished gin, but I'm sure they exist. You add a different botanical at the end just to like, I don't know, do something with it. It seems to be a lot with Scotch, but and bourbon, of course. But again, the bourbon thing, I think it's really about going for like a completely different whiskey. I'm thinking about like Heaven's Door American Double Barrel. I'm thinking about the double oak Woodford Reserve, the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. I'm kind of feeling like those are like quite a bit more expensive. And I think that part of that might just be that they're like, they're going for something completely different. I don't know if I've ever had anything, with the exception of the Glendronach and the Glenallachie 15, I've never had anything that was matured really in both bourbon and PX or Oloroso and PX. And so that might be something I would explore. Is the Lafroig PX cask of finish that travel exclusive? I don't know if anybody's had that. I'm curious. I do have another PX whiskey here. Maybe I don't know if this is finished or not. This is Bunnahabhain, the Bunnahabhain limited release 14-year-old. Yeah, this is a finish too. 54.3%. The influence of PX. Blah 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 blah. So it's first fill sherry butts, PX. And this is a finish. I'm not sure how long. Yeah. So this is probably a mix of, it's ex-bourbon, PX sherry butts. It says finish, but it doesn't say how long. I'm not sure. I have another Buna here that actually might be finished as well. This is the limited release Moynia Bordeaux red wine. No, this is matured, so this is full Bordeaux red wine. Yeah, so that Bunnahabhain limited release is PX. So we'll eventually get to that. What about the Ardbeg Black? Is this finished? I don't remember. Welsh Toro's got me hunting now, man. I'm starting to think about all my stuff, and I'm like, wait, is it a finish or is it not? No, this one's not. This is probably just matured in the, yeah. Here I got an Edgerdour single cask. No, this is all Madeira matured. All right. Anyways, enough about that. But the point being was, I think that's a really good point, and it's one of the clever ways to kind of mask over, trying to sell some whiskey that maybe isn't great. The other way they do that, I think, is with like cask strength or high ABV NASs, right? You jack up the ABV, that kind of compensates for casks that aren't that high quality because, the higher alcohol. That's something that I think is done. And actually, while it's probably not something I would normally say needs to be done, Glenfarclas should probably do that with its 25-year-old, because that was a whiskey that sure could use a little bit more something. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's a 17-year-old. I didn't leave it sit for more than like 10 minutes. And as I was drinking it, I'm starting to notice more and more kind of the PX influence. But again, it's subtle. And so I'm feeling like to some degree that it's not like the event itself, everything else happening in this was still really good. And so I'm thinking like maybe they just thought it would add an extra element to it. And it's, just a little bit on the more subtle side. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. This will be a fun one. And again, it didn't break the bank. So I'm not feeling too disappointed yet. I can see why bourbon guys do it because they have much less term. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Also in Scotland, they use mostly reused anyways, unlike bourbon. Yeah, it's illegal, right? I mean, bourbon can't be in a reused, as far as I know. I think that's the law. Oh, yeah, the newer Carchis. That's right. The red, the port red wine one. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were any other cartridges that had finishes on them. Was the Pheno a finish? The 2019, was that 2018? I'm not sure if that one was either. We'll see. She said, I love the shuffle. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. I finally set up a little new studio situation after a long time of not. I'm going back for this Deanston. I'm not even going to play. I just have to. I did. So I grabbed some of the stuff that I wanted to put on a small shelf and threw it up here. I'd be curious, how big are your guys' whiskey collections? I don't know if I want to see how crazy I am. But yeah, it's looking pretty nice. I'm able to kind of put some stuff up, so appreciate that, man. I also got this cool Isla watercolor thing here. It probably doesn't come through great on the video, but setting up the studio a little bit. It's fun. Figured out how to help my Glenfarclas. Yeah. Weak and lame sounds right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Don't buy the 25, even though the price is like $140. You're going to be like, how the hell is this 100? Like, there's a 25-year-old whiskey for $140. Believe me, don't bother. It's really, it's tired and boring for sure. Yeah, I'm excited to open that. I think Telex and I are going to do an Edredauer show. He just got a 21-year-old Oloroso or something. So we'll probably do a show on those. That'll be a lot of fun. I think it's on our schedule for some point in time in the relatively near future. Let's see. Yeah. We'll be doing it at some point in time. Edredauer is great. I went to a whiskey tasting with the Philadelphia Whiskey Society, and we had a BYOB party at the end of it. It was something with I don't remember who was the folks that were there. I think it might have actually been what is that? That Boutique, and we had a tasting at the end, and somebody had a 13-year-old single cask all Oloroso Edredauer, and it was just freaking mind-blowing. So I've been hunting for one of those ever since. For some reason, in Texas, you can get your hands on tons of Edredauer single casks. They're released exclusively for some distributor there, but they're really hard to find in the United States. I never really see them anywhere. Yeah. I mean, there's only a couple hundred of this one. I think it actually has the number on it. 61.3%. Yeah, 301 bottles. That's crazy. That's going to be a fun one to open for sure. All right, what else is going on? T squared. I had a 30-year Glenfarclas that was amazing. Oh, nice. Oh, independent bottling. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Andrew Page. I have about 40 all opened. Not much, but a whole more than before COVID. Yeah, that's real. I don't know what mine is at. I'm feeling like a degenerate now. I mean, I'm probably in the 160 range. Mostly unopened, I think, but maybe less than that. Maybe more 140, 150. I don't know. Too much for sure. If that's a real thing, if you can have too much, right? Yeah. I mean, maybe a quarter of it's up here. I have enough to definitely enjoy some good reviews for the next year. That's for sure. So that'll be fun. T squared, yeah. Sort of COVID, yeah. Got to do something, right? Yep, exactly, Richie. Exactly. I like Edredauer. Does peated and unpeated? Yeah, the Balachin or whatever is their peated. I've actually never had one of the Balachins. 3 to 4K. You have 3,000 to 4,000 beers? Oh, worth of beer. Oh, money wise. Okay. I was about to say, damn. That's what do you have? A warehouse next to attached to your house, man? Damn. How do you temperature control all that beer? Man, this is This is some seriously full flavor. Holy cow. Again, I stick with it. It's one of the most potent oily whiskeys I've ever had. It is so sticky. Almost too sticky. But pretty decadent. I wish the development was a little bit longer, but the finish is really nice. Yeah, this whiskey is a little interesting. Yeah. Eric, do you ever get sulfur on sherried malts? I never do, just sometimes matchsticks, but never but. The matchstick thing I get. I got a lot on what the hell? What the hell was that? Dalmore 12. One of the first sherried whiskeys I got. That one I picked up a lot of, like sulfur matchstick. But like I don't pick it up on most. Telex does. We talk about he picks up a ton of matchstick on the Highland Park 12. I don't know where he gets that, but we've talked about that before. But yeah, I guess on the whole, nah, man, I really don't. I know that it's a thing. I'm trying to think of like Glenfarclas, because they do all their stuff with the direct fire stills. I'm wondering if I'm trying to think back of any Glenfarclas if I had, if there's any sulfuric notes, but yeah, not really, man. Maybe I've just not stumbled across one yet, but yeah, I guess I can't say I get it much either. I don't know what to tell you guys about this Deanston. It's good. I don't know how good it is yet, but it's good. It's simultaneously good, and I simultaneously want more. Want it to do more. One sec. There's just a lot of bourbon notes. Anyways, maybe we should do something else. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit longer. If you guys want to chill, let's do it. I'm gonna pour something else. Maybe this Napoe Castle 14. Now we're gonna go peep. Ardbeg, a little row of Ardbegs here. We got black, Oogie. Yeah. This is the way to go. When in doubt, Ugadal. I just need a bottle of Corey Vrecken. I haven't had one of those in like a year. I need to get a Corey Vrecken. But Ugadal, still probably one of my favorite whiskeys ever. And this is a newer release, and I feel like, there are people who had them back like 10 years ago or whatever, and like act like, it's it's a whiskey that you don't want to, like it's gotten so much worse than it was. Like maybe, but if this is bad, I don't know what good is, because this shit is amazing. Yeah, I might have to do a tasting with Telex on this. I got to get a second opinion, or maybe we'll do another one of those Patreon giveaway things where I'll put y'all in a randomizer and send you a sample of this and something else. That'll be fun, right? Oogie, nightcap. I'm going to drink this now, and I'm going to remember like how much so many whiskeys can't even compare to it. I don't know if y'all are as big of Oogie fans as I am, but this shit is out of control. Oh, Portiskeag. I've yet to have one of those. God damn. It's amazing. A few pluses of the virus is making me order more online. Yeah. I mean, in PA, it's even worse, but I do have a short list. In fact, if anybody is looking for a list of places that you can get good scotch cheap, just email me, malt.muser@gmail.com. I'll send you my list of shops that, like, I think, unfortunately, I can't go to anymore because most of them won't ship into PA because we're all government stores. But I built my collection when I lived in Washington, D.C., where they're real liberal with the shipping laws. I ordered stuff I hunted so much online. I got a really solid list of stores that I think you guys should check out. If anybody is, wants to find out if they can get stuff shipped to them, yeah, just email me, malt.muser. I'll send you my list. Spread the love. Yeah. What's up, Blogavie? How are you? Happy Thirsty Thursday. Thanks for stopping through. I'm not sure we've met before, but appreciate you hanging out. Deanston is almost always good, even that virgin oak. Yeah, I've not had really any bad experiences with Deanston, and I've had one amazing experience, which was the red wine Bordeaux cask. But I really liked the 20. I really liked the 18. We'll see what happens with this one. Yeah, they're solid. One named Nestor says, man, saw your Instagram of that Grouse 18. And yeah, man, Frank the Cactus is mysterious looking, bro. New show mascot? Oh, you talking about Frank? Yeah, that's Frank. So I posted a picture on Instagram earlier. I got a couple old dusty bottles recently, and I threw it up on Instagram. This is a Glenlivet Nadura from 2009. This is 16-year-old cask strength, 55.1%. And it's all in ex-bourbon. So dusty bottle. And then I stumbled across this discontinued naked Famous Grouse 18-year-old. It's a full blend of Macallan and Highland Park, both Edgerton whiskeys. And this one is, 43%. I think they stopped making this like 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not sure how old this one is specifically. Maybe they have a scan date, but this is, if it's 18 years old, this means that this is probably some late 80s, early 90s Highland Park in this. And Highland Park and Macallan 18-year-olds. So really stoked to get to try this. Yeah, there's not a scan date on it, but I mean, it's a freaking blended Famous Grouse. I'm not going to put that on there. Nonetheless, every once in a while you stumble across an old dusty bottle, you got to grab it. But what Nestor's talking about is Frank the Cactus. Yeah, I have a name for my cactus. It's funny. He is rather mysterious, and I don't know if it's going to be a show. I don't think it's going to be a show mascot, but it's always this lurking about, doing its stoic cactus thing. Nestor cracking me up, man. I live in Virginia, which is the land of boring whiskey. Oh, yeah, because you got the ABC stores. Yeah, I know about that, man. I used to jump across the Potomac when I lived in D.C. to hit up those Northern Virginia ABC stores because their prices were so good. But, man, I'm in the same boat in PA. There's just not a lot. I mean, the government stores here, I think, have fair prices, and they do get a decent amount of stuff, but they just don't get enough diverse stuff. So luckily for me, I'm in Philadelphia, so I'm right on the border with Jersey. I just hop over the border to Jersey if I want to hunt for something else. But I feel you, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I'll tell you one thing about the ABC stores in Virginia: $59.99 for Elijah Craig barrel proofs there. I used to jump over there three times a year, man. Every time those releases came out, I went out hunting for those. I actually also got so in 2018, Mickey Heads was doing his little tour for the Ardbeg Grooves committee release, and stopped at like 6 or 7 American liquor stores, and one of them was an ABC store in Vienna, Northern Virginia. And so I got tipped off from a friend of mine that they got a bunch of the Ardbeg Grooves committee release because the Mickey Heads had went and did a thing there. They had like 7 bottles of it, and I shot over there. There were 2 left, and he had it. I had to ask him. He had it under the counter, and he's like, "Yeah, we got it." So I was able to get it in my first committee release bottling of Ardbeg Grooves from them because Mickey Head stopped there. So I've had okay experiences at the ABC stores, but yeah, by and large, I feel like you just don't get the variety you want. But their online portal is solid. Like they'll tell you, like if you see a bottle that you want and they don't have it at the one near you, it'll tell you what ABC stores have it. Well, that's all right. And those prices on the Elijah Craig were boss. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I have one of the NAS Naduras too, so I'm thinking I'll do a head-to-head, although it's a sherry, not bourbon. But yeah, man, 2009. Looking forward to trying that. Oof. Retired military. Oh, cheers, man. Oh, cool. Yeah, they're always grabbed up too fast. Yeah, but keep an eye on the ABC stores, man. If you time it right, like they all get put on the shelf at once at every store, you know. So like you can kind of hunt around. I used to, as I mentioned, when I lived in DC, because Washington DC, I mean, the whiskey prices are crazy because it's, you know, first and foremost such a tourist city, and you know, the average wage in DC is so high that, you know, you pay $25 more for pretty much anything there. And so I would, you know, I was a smoker at the time, and cigarettes were also real expensive in DC. So I'd go over to Virginia to get them where they're cheap as hell. And I started going in the ABC stores to like hunt for Elijah Craig barrel proofs. And, you know, suddenly you stumble across some place, they got like 46 bottles on the shelf of it. You go back a week later, they're gone. I'm like, shit, you just pop around until you find them. Stag Junior was another one that I got a bunch of those at ABC stores. I didn't realize they don't do 18-year-olds. So that's whack. Yeah, definitely. All right, y'all. I am going to wrap things up. Thanks for hanging out. Random Tuesday or Thursday happy hour, little whiskey tasting, man. Always fun chatting with everybody. Appreciate it. Before you bounce, if you can, give me the the thumbs up. If you're not subbed, feel free to sub. If you do sub, you'll see that Glenmorangie Taylor cake review will pop tomorrow morning. And then Tasty Tuesday happy hour will be on schedule as usual, 8 o'clock on Tuesday. And then that will be followed by Telex and I doing a Glenmorangie tasting. T Squared, you should show up. We're doing Glenmorangie cask, the Malaga cask finished 12-year-old. We're doing the Tale of Cake, and we're doing the Glenmorangie 18. So we're going to be heading into the Highlands to talk Glenmorangie. So feel free to swing by. Everybody stay safe, be well. And for those of you just joined for the first time and I didn't see you Tuesday, Happy New Year, man. Appreciate you all very much.